found this video on InfoWars, Victory Day in Russia. So Putin was saying some things I thought were interesting, so I'll just let the news anchors take it from here.
All right, that's Russia's national anthem playing now. We just heard the Russian president speak for that Victory Day parade. A lot of expected rhetoric from Vladimir Putin. He said that Nazism is again rearing its ugly head today, that Russia is fighting to protect its own population and those in the Donbas region of Ukraine. He again accused the West of attempting to destroy traditional family values, of destroying the global order, even adding that it's holding Ukraine hostage after a coup. He described Ukrainians as puppets in a game being played by the West.
So first up, traditional family values. Yeah, the West is destroying that. You got the LGBT stuff, you got the transgender stuff, drag queen story hour. It's eroding traditional family. And depopulation. I think she mentioned that too. And Ukraine, a puppet state. Yeah, Ukraine is a puppet state between America, the West, and Russia.
Well, our international affairs editor, Philip Turle, is on set with me now, so we'll debrief the Russian president's remarks. Philip, not many surprises from his comments there.
Well, first of all, there was no surprise that he was equating the situation at the end of the Second World War and Russia's victory over Nazi Germany with what he still calls a special military operation in Ukraine, where he says the West is basically behaving like Nazi Germany. The West has decided to destroy family values, all of those values that are close to people's hearts, the values that make people human.
Tearing down the values that make us human. Yeah, then what happens? You lose your sense of self, sense of belonging, because what are you?
Forcing the rules on others. They say, he says that the West has forgotten what Nazism was all about and all that had been done to free Europe from Nazism, and that the act of forgetting this is a crime. So placing fairly and squarely the blame for everything that's happening on the doorstep of the West, saying that it's basically Russia that is under attack and Russia is only defending itself against an onslaught by the West. It's quite interesting that he singled out three countries, the United States, the United Kingdom and China in that speech, saying that he paid homage to the fallen from the United States, the United Kingdom and China. The US and the UK are the biggest providers of weapons to Ukraine, and that China he is trying to bring on board to supply weapons to Moscow to help it in its fight in the war in Ukraine. And I think there's a definite attempt by Vladimir Putin to try to divide public opinion in those countries, and also to make them understand that he is respectful of the dead, but he wants to point the finger at the US and the UK, and also try to bring China on board. And a couple of other points in that speech. He said that the Ukrainian people were being held hostage. They were puppets in a game played by the West. No reference there to the fact that the Ukrainians did not welcome in Russian forces on the 24th of February last year, when there were claims by Vladimir Putin and many in the Kremlin that the day that the Ukraine, the special military operation started there, that the Russian forces would be welcomed in with open arms by the Ukrainian people. That hasn't happened. It still hasn't happened. No mention of Bakhmut in that speech. No mention of any victories in the war in Ukraine. So that also, I think, was a big disappointment for Vladimir Putin, because it was something that he would have liked to have announced today during that speech in Red Square. But definitely an anti-Western speech, lots of anti-Western rhetoric there by the Russian president.
Certainly sounds like more of the same from Vladimir Putin in a relatively short speech, as you said there, Philip, just under 10 minutes.
Now, I'm not sure, but those two news anchors or reporters or whatever, they didn't mention when Putin was talking about how the Nazis tore down monuments. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I think the reason why they didn't mention that, well, Antifa and BLM have been destroying monuments too. Now, I'm no historian in any stretch of the means, but if I remember history correct, the Nazis were very traditional, husband, wife, and national, and stuff like that. Now, I look at stuff that's going on today, it's like the reverse. You have people who are anti-traditional family, husband and wife. You got your LGBTQ, you got your trans, you got your drag queen story hour. And then you have tearing down national monuments. I think Trump called it. First they tear down Confederate monuments, and then it's the Founding Fathers, etc. I think the left even banned some books they didn't like. So, it reminds me of a saying I heard. There's many forms of socialism. The Nazis, I guess, would be right-wing socialism, and today it's left-wing socialism, like communism. And a quick FYI, I tried to figure out where that tapping was coming from, but I'm pretty sure it was coming from their end. Anyway, that's it for my little ramble. Take care.